Hi everybody, this is Bastiaan, and today we're going to take another look at the fried liver attack. I already posted the game on YouTube using the fried liver against Chess Master, but that's was with the solid and passive line. And today we're going to look at the more traditional and active, aggressive line with sacrifices on the rook on a1. So I've set up the board with the fried liver position. So I'm just going to set up an engine now. I've chosen Soldat, which is a 2200 plus elo rating engine, as my opponent. And I'll just play a game live right now, and afterwards I'll walk through the moves and explain why every move was made. So at this point, we can see the knight sacrifice with knight to f7, starting a fried liver. So okay, black resigns. This is a forced mate in 3 or 4 moves. So let's just browse over the moves. So knight takes on f7, starting a fried liver. King recaptures, and queen f3. And what we want to do in a fried liver is 90% of the times we'll want to develop a piece, so we can play a check. King to e6. There are no other real options because we have pressure on d5. If king moves to another place, it will lose in mate or material loss. But this puts the king on the diagonal of the bishop. So knight c3 is the logical follow-up, adding more pressure on the knight, which cannot move because of the pin of the bishop. Knight to b4, looking for a fork and adding more protection to the knight on d5. It's typical continuation. And now a3, and this kicks the defender back, but black can start a counterattack with knight takes on pawn with check and tempo, winning a rook. And this is all well, but After king d1 and after knight takes a1, white has lost the rook, but the knight has been removed from the defense, and that's all that white wants really. So now knight takes knight. The king has to move, so we are getting an exchange back. d4 to get rid of this pawn and to open up the d file. King and queen are on the same file, so we want to open that file up as soon as possible. Pawn takes, and now bishop to f4. If the king would have retreated to d6, we could have developed the bishop to f4 with tempo. However, it retreated to d7, but the idea is the same. We still want to play bishop to f4, which is the best move. Bishop to d6. Now black obviously wants to trade off this attacker. Check. So always keep in mind we want to play as many checks as possible. c6. So we're seeing a fork, but it doesn't matter because our attack is too aggressive. So we can continue with our checks. Queen to g4 check. King goes to e8. He can go to c7 or e7 because of this knight. Can go to e6 because of the queen. So basically king to e8 is forced. This pawn on g7 is hanging for the moment. And also we can develop rook to e1, but taking on this pawn is best. So queen takes pawn, threatening the rook. We check. Black takes on the bishop on f4. In between move, rook e1 check, bringing another attacker into the game. Black blocks, sacrificing the piece. Bringing in the knight with check. And at this point, black has a forced reply because this king is pinned for the moment because of the queen, and it would have been checkmate if not for the queen on d8. So black needs to trade off the queen for the knight, and the king is still in the open, so this is most definitely winning for white. Also the rook is still under attack, so black has to choose which piece to save, bishop or the rook. First to place the in-between move, bishop to g4 check, so we block that. Black saves the rook with tempo, so need to move the queen, but the queen gains tempo as well with queen e5 check. Now the king has to move, and again there are two pieces hanging, this bishop and the bishop on g4, so white can choose which piece to take. Best is to take on g4 in this variation. Knight to c2, and white recaptures. Pawn push with tempo, and d1, and d1 is best here because the king is now on a white colored square, so it can be checked by the bishop. Also, white shouldn't really recapture the bishop, the pawn, because he wants to keep the pawn on the d file, so black can get his rooks into play with tempo on the d file. Finally, black retreats the bishop because of pawn takes bishop, and white can continue with his mating attack. Rook to e4, threatening rook f4 in some cases. So rook lift. King goes to g8. Bishop e6 check. Black blocks. And rook to g4 check. And that's a forced mate in 3 or 4 moves, I believe. And black resigns at move 27. So that's an aggressive variation of the fried liver, and I hope you enjoyed watching it. and have a great evening.